What's up, guys? It's Corrupted
And it's dragon.
back again. This week we are doing Akame ga Kill. This is the first time I've watched this multiple times, but I don't know when the last time I watched this is. It has to be before I lived where I'm living now, so it has to be at least 5 years since the last time I watched it. I don't know about you, how long it's been.
It's been about I ain't gonna lie, it's been about 8, 9 years since I last watched it. Probably watched it
Like
in like
it's definitely
2016,
not my
2017.
It's definitely not my second time watching it. I've watched it. I think this is my third time watching it, just because it's one of
I'm the
those
same way.
things that's nice, short, concise. You could watch it in a weekend, sort of things. You know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
doesn't take. It's just one of those nice, digestible stories that also just so happens to be like hyper violent, and then it has a couple of good character moments. Like it's one of those good. I don't want to say entry level into the.
Oh, it's not entry. I wouldn't say it's entry level at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, it's not. I
I
don't want
wouldn't
to
say
say
it's entry
entry
level.
level. I don't want to say it's
Nah,
entry
don't make the
level,
same mistake Netflix
but
made.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, wasn't there a mistake that like one of the most
Akame
hardcore
got
ones?
killed. Yeah, was one. Yeah, Akame
Yeah,
got killed was one.
wasn't it
It was
like Promise Neverland season 1 or
Promise
something like that?
Neverland. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Akame
yeah,
got
no.
killed, Promise Neverland, and Your Lie in April. They say it were beginning anime.
Yeah, 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 no. That's
No,
that's more than ridiculous. But no, but like from I'm trying to think, cause like it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's like one of the like later ones. It's like just because it's so concise, and like you don't need anything extra except for like you gotta like hyper violence, and then you just have 24 episodes of solidness. You know what I mean?
hmm
It's not
yeah, and then
like
the choreography's great.
yeah.
The freaking story gets like better, like especially what we're about to talk about today, in the
Well,
lens
also
of
it's
like
like
sacrifice.
the story of it is so, I don't want to say like not one dimensional. That's not the way I want to. But it's like it's simple enough. Like the floor of it is simple, but the ceiling's high. You know what I mean? Like the story's easy to get into because you get that it's just a bunch of resistance fighters trying to stop a corrupt government, and so it's like easy to understand. And like another good example is like the like at the start where the story's gonna end, not how it's gonna end, but like the end is
They
gonna
tell you,
be,
they
they're
pointed
gonna
to it,
like
they point to it,
the minister's either gonna win or lose. Like you know what I mean? Like that's how it's gonna go down. Like they
but
don't tell
still,
us
like
how it's gonna happen, but we
when
just
you
get it.
think about it, like in the because it's a lot of things when you just say like um there's some resistance fighters trying to take down the corrupt government because I still think about like even how Tatsumi, the main character, came into this. Like we spoke, he came in so naive, not even thinking that the government was this corrupt. He knew it was there, but he didn't knew it was the government because he wanted to join the military in the beginning. Before, of course, he gets to the capital. That was him, Sato, and I'm finna learn this dude's name. I'm not even finna get
Sayo.
away. Sayo, yeah,
Yeah,
Sayo,
and Ayose, I think is how you say it. It's like this really weird spelling.
Yasu.
I don't. It's like, yeah, it's Ieyasu. Like that's such a
Yasu.
hard word to say.
Yasu.
I think that's how you say it. Like, because I
I
think
would
they
have
say
more
it two
problems with
different
misspelling
ways.
them.
I think Sayo says it a different way in the anime than Tatsumi does, if I remember correctly. Or
But
it's the mayor, because for some reason it's mistranslated to mayor instead of the elder, which is funny to me. Because if it's just a small village with a few people, why would it be a mayor? Because in the manga he's called like the leader of their village, which just cracks me up that they use mayor in it. But that's whatever. Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like where he
because
starts
you
at.
think a lot of you would think because a lot of things that he comes in thinking because they come in thinking they were just gonna walk in and just join the military, which again like that ends up he ends up getting an offer to join the military and turns it down later, which I can touch on later. But Like just him walking in thinking everything he did about the Capitol, about the military, and then of course him get taken in by these people, which they oozed BS from the start. As soon as they came in, as soon as they like, oh, we gonna do this again, my lady. We're gonna do this again. Just let you know that they about to do some messed up stuff. But of course, his naivety, going straight in, taking all of their hospitality, and then they just so happen to get attacked the same night and get ran to
No,
the
no, no, it's not the same night. I don't think. Because remember they pick him
excuse
up
me.
at a night, and then the next day he goes shopping with her.
You're right. You're right. Excuse me.
It's
You're right. You
I
are
think
right.
it's the next day.
It's yeah, the next day, the next night.
Yeah. Cause I
Excuse
guess like
me.
it's weird because like it makes very little sense when you think about it, unless it's just that she gets more out of it if the person thinks they're safe before they do it, because they imply that when they get Sayo and Ieyasu, they just immediately do it to him.
Right. Like they just get caught that night. As soon as they eat dinner, they wake up
Yeah.
in the shed, and then everything takes its course. But that, because I don't remember exactly how long they had been there before Tatsumi got there, but it had to have been like a few days. I don't remember it being
Yeah,
really
it's
too
not that
long.
they've only been separated for a couple of days, maybe not even a whole day. When the like right at the start of it, where he explains like I got separated from my people right after he kills the danger beast. And also, that's a good introduction to his character. Is he kills a danger beast as a normal person that it would take an Imperial Arms user to kill.
Exactly,
Like
because
he kills like a what is it, a Class A danger beast, so
I say
like the second lowest. It's like a good example
right
would be
before
in
S.
JJK killing a fucking what's it called, a Class 1 uh curse spirit. Like it's like the same idea. Like it's the second to last thing before it gets to like you're not touching that without an Imperial
Yeah,
Arms.
S, A, and then like S is the max, A is next, and then B, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
S
but yeah,
class being like the best of the best, just like how if y'all watch One Punch Man, how their hero class is set up.
yeah. But they're
But
like there's like such a big difference in the power of the
such a
danger
big
beasts. Like S is so far above A that that's why I was thinking like in JJK, because it's like when you get to special grade, they don't fall on the list anymore, but you still have to call them special grade just
they do
because the
their own, they
classification.
follow their own
Yeah,
rules by that point.
yeah, that's what I was. Because like we see like some of the stuff like Tyrant is like we see is like the greatest beast ever, the one that Incursio's made out of.
Yeah.
Because he's like practically unkillable. He's basically Fatalis from Monster Hunter. Because he's still alive. Or like what's it called? What's another good example? Is the trying to think of the name of it. The crap, I can't think of the name of the monster that they killed for Lubbock's crosstail. It's like this giant mythical dragon that has
Yeah.
like hairs that are unbreakable, and they made the threads out of his hair. Like stuff like that. Like that's completely different. Like a dragon the size of a mountain that's bigger than a mountain, because it like shows it wrapped around a mountain's peak, and it's like the size of a mountain. And it's just like,
I would love to
how
see
the
them
fuck?
like
I
actually
want to know
fight
how they
one of those
killed them,
things.
dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like how you kill an
of
invincible
course.
dragon. Like they legit without Imperial arms, because they were making them at the time. They had to have used the to kill like half those things. The giant one that only the Emperor could do had to have been built first.
That's what they
That
said. They
had
called
to
it the
be
first
like or not built for, but it had to be like the thing that the Emperor used to
usage.
kill all the other things. But even then, like it couldn't kill Tyrant, like because Tyrant's still alive. They were just like, fuck, I guess we just gotta sew him into the suit itself. Like, but also, I like the power system of the show, like how Imperial Arms works. Like especially since there's only 48 of them, and it's implied that several of them have been destroyed because that's Night Raid's secondary objective is to destroy them. And we see how many get destroyed. Susano, whatever Bowles's was called. I know there's another one that we see get destroyed. Leona's gets destroyed, or Leonin, however you say your friggin' name. Always
You
Leon.
know, man.
Yeah, Leone. I always get it confused because it's like in my head, it's spelt weird, but it's not actually spelt weird because of my dyslexia. I just always misread it. And then the one that the minister has gets destroyed too. And we never learn the name of his, but it's like it can destroy itself to destroy any other Imperial arms. But then some of them are just like absolute bullshit. Like one of them gives you water bending from Avatar, and not just any water bending, but like bullshit levels of water bending, like Avatar state Aang level water bending and blood bending. Like it's just there's like no limit to what you can do with that. Or like how about the Kurame sword that just makes you a necromancer? Everyone that you kill with the sword you can just bring back to life. Or pumpkin's kind of BS because it's not just at first they describe it as it gets stronger the more danger you're in, but it turns out that's like a very rudimentary way. That's like the weak way to increase its power. It's just based off your emotional state, and you're more emotional the more danger you're in. So we see like when mine like finally admits that she's into Tatsumi at the end of it, she's able to use it at a power level that it didn't have beforehand.
She
Like
was
able to
using it
do much
wrong
more
the
with
whole
it.
time. She was
Yeah,
using it
she
completely wrong the entire time.
yeah,
Like,
we
and I
learned
knew
that.
that at first. Like, soon as she came out and said that it was based off like dangerous states, like you can see just how everything she was doing because it didn't make any sense that your weapon was based off dangerous snake, dangerous the dangerous state that you're in, yet you're a sniper. Snipers and like the whole point of being a sniper is to keep the danger at a minimum, and then when it gets too dangerous, you of course either get out or
Yeah, but it's also interesting because that was also the interesting thing about it. You would figure she would know that because something tells me Najida knew everything about it, and that was her Imperial arms when she was a general,
hmm
was Pumpkin. Because we see in the
But that was the
flashback
thing
with Veth's
too.
death, that's what she carries on her
hmm
back.
And the thing too, because of like you see with Mai's character development throughout the story, she ended up putting herself in more dangerous situations the more the story progressed. Because of course, the first shot we see her take was the one on the officer
Siriu
in the little palace. Not
or the
Siriu. It wasn't Siriu. It was the guy, not the guy that they had to kill. The one that Mai shot from long range that Tatsumi didn't think that she could hit because it was all those innocent
oh
people around.
what's his name? The Issel or something like that. The minister's
Something
like
like that.
cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cousin. So that was the first shot we see her shoot. And it literally gave us the whole thing about her being a sniper. But of course, you see they were concealed the first time, then most of her other shots after it was like after that her other shots were like more open, still kind of staying on the concealed side but more open. But when you saw her get towards the battlefield and stuff, when she was pretty much trying to save Tatsumi, she was out in the open pretty much in deep in enemy territory. Had literally here shouting, letting everyone, including the enemy, know where she was. So you talk about the magnitude of dangerous situation getting to its highest. Then at the end, when she's shooting the Thunder guy, which I thought he would be probably your favorite. If I had to give you Imperial Arms, that'd probably be the one you'd probably pick. If
Which
you
one?
had to pick one, would probably be that one. If I had to guess, this is just because lightning, and there wasn't really another lightning one there.
No, 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 no. That one. If I had to pick one, I want Incursio, dog. That
That was
Incursio is
next.
the coolest
I
one.
want the wings. I want wings.
The
I ain't
wings
gonna
aren't
lie. Those
bad
wings
either,
are pretty cool.
but like Incursio just like also the other thing is Incursio like it Incursio's trump card isn't invisibility, but invisibility is part of his trump card. I thought that plot
Yeah.
twist was really cool. Like
Yeah.
its true trump card is that since Tyrant's still alive, it can um it can evolve to what you need in the moment as
Uh-huh.
long as like Tyrant deems you worthy enough. Like as long as like you want it enough, Tyrant will give it to like let you evolve to what you need, which I thought was really cool. But
In other words, Blot was using it wrong.
I don't even know if Balat was using it wrong. I wonder if Balat
Or he
was
was
just
just
so
using it to his
strong.
capacity.
I wonder if like Balat was just so strong that it never had to. Cause like
Never had
remember
to
his
evolve like that. That makes sense.
yeah. Cause if you remember like his commanding
How about
officer
that?
had to take a bunch of fucking like steroids, like the stuff Kurame takes every day to be stronger than her sister. Like the thing that makes it to where getting stabbed in this like having your spine broken doesn't fucking kill you. Like cuz that's how Chelsea kills people is she severs their spine. Like the thing she
Yeah, with that
stabs them in
needle.
the spinal column. Yeah. So she
Yeah,
like breaks their spine. So Kurome gets pieced up, is tired from her fucking steroid use. I'm gonna call it steroids for lack of a better term, because they don't tell us the name of the drug. But we know it like massively increases like it basically makes you like Superboy because we see when Saryu, not Saryu, but Sarya, the minister's son uses it, he's like able to do all sorts of crazy stuff like Esdeath could. Like where
yeah,
he's like able to
exactly.
like punch people like 20 feet up in the air and then jump up above them without using his teleport power and then smack them down. And then it also like lets him like gives him like infinite stamina for a short amount of time. Like that stuff. Like that's basically what Kureme's doing. So she's coming down from that. She's tired. She got her butt kicked. She's exhausted. She can barely move. She's out of snacks, which is like important because that's like how she the drug like they explain like it that's why she has to eat snacks all the time is because the drug and the sword take so much energy and she
Yeah,
survives being stabbed in the brainstem, which is completely like normally impossible. We even see it's impossible for normal humans in the story. So she gets like her brainstem severed by a needle and she still gets up and is able to use her power to kill Chelsea because she's able to summon the gunslinger still even with the hole in her neck, like a sizable hole in her neck. And we see like when Chelsea stabs, like it goes like almost all the way through the neck because we see like how deep it goes. It goes like 4 inches deep.
yeah.
So
Oh
it's
shit,
like
it
a
goes
massive
down.
amount of damage that it's doing because it's like 4 inches into your neck directly into your brainstem. And like we saw like Bowles, like it basically paralyzed Bowles from the waist down. Like he couldn't walk anymore when he got hit by it, just stuff like that. So we see all that stuff. Like it took a commander that knew all of Bull's or not Bull Bulat's fighting style, the one that basically
Mm-hmm.
taught Bulat how to fight. It took him with an OP as fuck Imperial Arms backup
In an OP setting.
and Bulat specifically protecting Tatsumi for his for Bulat to lose. I just think Bulat was just too strong for Tyrant to have to change. Cause like you see it like it basically also uh Liver happens to be in the one place where his power works better than any other place. Like he's on a massive fucking cruise ship surrounded by water. So like it took basically the stars aligning to kill Bulat because Bulat so like and we see that other dude is like super strong too, the dude with the axe. He was super strong too. Like Tatsumi could barely do anything to him. And Bulat one shots him. Almost one shots the midget kid, whose name is escaping me at the moment, the dude with the flute.
Yeah, I ain't
And
never know
then
his name.
yeah, and then the only reason he doesn't immediately beat Liver or Lever is because of the dude with the flute and protecting Tatsumi. Even though the Lever is at the like absolute peak of his power and he has the medicine in his system, the drug in his system that makes Kurame practically unkillable. So it takes all that to beat Bulat, and Bulat still kills one of your guys. And Bulat has a fucking hole in his leg when that happens too, so that he wouldn't fall asleep to the flute. So I just think Bulat's too powerful with Incursio for Incursio to have to. I know it's just headcanon, but when you like think about it in that regard, it does just seem like Tyrant's just like, nah, this dude's good. He's too strong. It doesn't matter. It could also be that Tyrant just liked Tatsumi more, because Tyrant seemed to like respond. Like even Bulat says when he puts Incursio on for the first time that Tyrant reacted different. He even just like Tyrant immediately just he made it sound like it's not usual that Tyrant acts like that whenever he gets a new, because he was shocked by he's just like, wow, Tyrant's immediately reshaping himself to fit Tatsumi and all that stuff. So that's just my head canon. It's never gonna get confirmed, but that's my head canon, is that Bulat was just too much of him for it to matter. Too much. He Bulat was Himothy. Let's be real. Bulat was Himothy. Like I want to know how Bulat would have done against Esdeath. Like I'm pretty sure he loses, but I want to know how far he gets before he loses. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool. Yeah. But with that primer for the series done, um, I wanted to talk about the big lens that we were watching it through, which is like finding the meaning in sacrifice, because that's like, in my opinion, the core theme of the story. Is because everyone is sacrificing something, the good guys and the bad guys, everyone. But I think like as Death, the Minister, and the Emperor are sacrificing something at every given moment that they're there. But as Death, the Minister, and to an extent the Emperor are the bad guys. They're like the only objectively bad people. Like, if that makes sense, they're the ones that like
Everyone else are followers.
yeah. Well, it's not just it's like to be fair, like the Emperor's just getting used.
Yeah, the Emperor's getting
So,
used by the
but
minister, and
but as
as death
Death
is
and the
pretty much
Minister
calling the shots on the
are
other
the
end.
well, I was thinking more like they're like the metaphor of like the evil forces, like the thing that makes you sacrifice stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I
yeah.
see
But
like as
you're gonna
Death
get
as
that
like
same
a
umbrella under everything. That's literally, you look at the only other person who was said to be on Esde's side in power wise was General Bushido. What
Budo.
is it? Budo. That's what it is. Budo,
Yeah,
not Bushido. Budo. He was the only other one, and he following the minister.
yeah. But I was
He
thinking
ain't.
about it in like the regard like I like was seeing as Death as like a metaphor for like nature almost, and not
Yes.
like
Oh
nature
yeah.
as in like the like nature so not, but like the bad side of nature, like how, because like she's portrayed as a psychopath, but like when you think about it, like Mother Nature's a psychopath too. You know what I mean? Like
Yep. True
how else could
survival
you
of the
have
fittest.
how else yeah, like how else could you have Darwinism? Like she's like Darwinism incarnate almost. And that's just how evolution is. And then the minister is like human nature instead of like the over encompassing thing in nature. And so everyone has to sacrifice something to overcome those two things, is
Oh yeah.
basically how I was looking at it this
Oh
time
yeah.
around. Because every like you see Tatsumi has to give up living in his village because he was on his way to become a blacksmith in his village,
Yep.
which we learned from like the throwaway thing of like what he says that he does when he goes to compete in the martial arts tournament. And so him and his friends had to give up a bunch to leave their village to come join the
To the
military.
capital.
Yet Tatsumi has to give up basically his future to become an assassin to stop the minister. Um, and even like more minute. version is Siriu has to give up her sanity to like she has to
Yeah.
sacrifice her
Oh,
sanity.
oh, oh, oh. No, you said it right then because like Siriu, you look at Siriu from the person who she was when she first met Tatsumi in that little
Yeah,
bazaar in the town. She was just like Tatsumi, except she had did what Tatsumi couldn't achieve, which was, of course, become an officer in the
yeah, join the
military.
military.
And literally, she was, oh, I'll come help you, citizen. What are you looking for? Literally, the minuteness of things. And literally, by the end of her transformation, she's literally killing people in the name of justice without even giving them a fair trial anymore.
Yeah,
Which,
like the
of course, is
random
not
people that were
justice.
caught stealing food because they were too poor, and she just like, oh no, y'all are evil. There's no saving evil. Koro, eat 'em.
Yep, supper time. And then
Yeah,
they eat them, and they even Wave had to tell her she was going a little overboard right then.
yeah. And that's another thing. I'll get into Wave in a minute once we get through it, cause Wave's like the inverse of Tatsumi,
Of
which is
course,
cool. Like he
of
even
course.
has the supposedly upgraded version of Tatsumi's abilities.
Gotta say supposedly.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta put supposedly next to it
Well,
because we
like it
see,
makes sense.
of
Like
course,
it's
Incursio
overall.
doesn't go that far.
Yeah, like it makes sense why they would say his is the better one. You know what I mean? Because it's like baseline is better, but it doesn't have the trump card of being able to evolve. So it's like trump card. We don't even know if Chariot has a trump card because he
Yeah,
never shows it if it does.
I was looking for everybody's trump card, and I thought I had met caught them all, but
Because
Chariot
some of them
definitely didn't
don't
have
have
one.
trump cards.
Yeah, like Pumpkin. Pumpkin didn't have one.
Well, technically, Pumpkin is a trump card if you want to
Yeah,
think about it.
but yeah. That's how mine explained it. She was like, mine doesn't need a trump card because it basically is a trump card because it
Yeah,
gets dangerous. I mean, it gets more powerful with the dangers of the situation. That pretty much can be a trump card.
yeah. Also, like how all the trump cards have a downside. That's a
Makes
cool
a
thing.
balance.
That's something that I really like too, with like like not meaning to go on a tangent, but I like it when when you have when there's a bullshit level of power with something like as death, like as death's ability to freeze time and space, but she can only do it for a couple of seconds, and it basically makes her useless the next day whenever she
Yeah,
uses it. Is like how they explain it. Or like Akame's, she can only use it once, and if she uses it for too long, it immediately kills her. Or like Kurome's, like basically knocks her out.
yeah.
Kurome's
She
trump card.
also She also, well, not even that. Like she talked about just her power alone. A comment said however many puppets she got out, like her reaction time is slowed.
Yeah, with Kuro. And then or like another good one is the trump card for the what was considered to be Incursio's original trump card, the invisibility. Apparently it takes like such a strain on you that like what's his name like when Tatsumi first gets it, he can only last 1 second before it makes him pass out because it puts so much strain on your body.
Yeah,
Or Susano becoming a literal god, but you die if you
at the
use it
cost
three
of the
times.
master's life force.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he becomes a god. You can only do it 3 times because it takes so much of your inner like your life force. Or what's another good one? Kuro. Kuro becomes useless for 3 days, but Kuro becomes like a monster
yeah.
for like 10 minutes. And then we don't get to see what's it called trump card. Ludwig's trump card is pretty cool because it made his trump card is that you can make stuff out of the string. But also, I think part of it was also like the real trump card across tail is whatever like the smartest like it's unlocked by how smart the person is. Like we see when Lubbock kills the girl that he's crushing on
Black
the
girl.
that one assassin. Uh,
Yeah,
and his trump card was he just outsmarted her and made her fall into his traps and then immediately killed her because he tricked her. And the trump card was everything is his weapon with that ability. Or like Siryu, like he was able to just lay traps in the middle of combat, and so his trump card was just he was smarter, which makes sense. Like he works in a bookstore, like he runs a bookstore. He doesn't just works in it; he owns a bookstore in a city with where nobody has any fucking money. He's got to be pretty smart, especially like in a medieval time when books were hella expensive and nobody but the like rich people could afford them. and so nobody but like the minister and the family at the beginning would have been able to buy the books. But back to the sacrifice stuff, like what's another good example of the sacrifice? Like what they have to
Oh,
sacrifice
still,
to pick the stuff. I
dude,
was trying to
shit.
go in before anybody's death, just like the more nuanced stuff of people's
Oh well,
sacrifice.
let's talk. Okay,
Uh,
let's talk
Bowles
about.
Bowles is a good one, because Bowles has to sacrifice his humanity to be able to have a family. Because he talks about like he doesn't think of himself as human. That's why he wears his mask all the time, and he
Yeah,
wholly believes that he deserves a horrible death, which is like when he dies, he's just like, I got better than what I deserved.
and was also was made him was also was one of his convictions because that's death forcing him to take off the mask and have dinner with them with it. Kind of made remind him that he
Yeah,
did have a place somewhere. But yeah, I definitely see that. So you talk about the boss. Shit, the boss had to sacrifice pretty much.
well,
I wouldn't
yeah.
even say just her humanity. She would have to sacrifice
Well,
like
she had to
her well
sacrifice parts of her body to Ez death,
parts of her body
because like she's missing an arm, but it's implied that she
and
had
I
way more. Yeah, and I. But it's when she talks about when she's fighting. I can't remember who it is. It's the other general that had a crush on her. I can't remember his name. The one with the whip. Um, she talks about she's shocked that with all her injuries that Esdeath gave her that she could keep up with his whip, implying that she used to be like really fucking strong because Leonin could barely keep up with the whip even with her
her beast
imperial arms.
transformation.
Yeah, even with
Her beast.
the beast transformation, she could barely keep up with it.
I wish she, dude, the way they explained it too. Well, not really. They kept the dude. I wish she had like more than one. The way I thought they was about to explain it, like she had more than one transformation besides just the lion. But it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I
I
was
mean,
hoping she had like a
her arm's pretty
full
good.
like a almost like lycanthropy, or I guess it would be Leocanthy,
Yeah.
like where she turned like full like half beast mode and looked like what's the lion's dude name from Invincible?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're
Battle
talking about.
Beast.
I
Like
can't
that
think
would
of
have
his
been
name.
fucking sick.
Is
Like
it Battle
that's
Beast? That's the name.
I think it's Battle Beast. I'm pretty sure his
I'm
name's
caught up
Battle
all the way,
Beast.
but I'm definitely caught up all the way. But yeah, nah. She was. I still liked
Yeah,
her
Battle
power.
Beast.
I thought she was. I
That's his
thought she
name.
was about to when she stopped when she got her arm cut off. I thought she was finna ready to spawn a new one the way it
Well,
looked, but
that
she just stopped completely
yeah,
on
I
her
thought
own.
she was pulling the Piccolo because it like
I did too. Yeah, I
pumped
did
up
too.
like Piccolo. Like that just shows you the impact Dragon Ball Z had on like everybody. Like
Everything,
you're just
dude.
like,
Shit,
come on,
everything.
grown up. But also you see like her thing's trump card is that it gives her an accelerating healing factor.
So much accelerated that a severed arm can get reattached by
Yeah,
like long as it can get reattached good enough, like something like
yeah.
Lubbock's ability, she
Or
can heal it back
what's
just
it
like
called?
it was
It
almost
takes her
given to her.
like 6 hours to succumb from an entire clip being shot into her stomach,
Yeah,
and she still kills somebody right after that happens too, and that's without an imperial arms. That just like shows how strong. Also, she doesn't just get shot in the stomach; she gets shot in the kidney and the liver, which
dead.
like yeah, like a liver shot is like an almost instant death,
Kill
or
shot.
rather, it hurts so bad that you're basically not gonna be able to move. But she had an entire clip unloaded into her stomach, and she had no holes in her back, so they just got
Yeah,
stuck
she
in her
caught all
stomach.
them.
Yeah, so like it's so much worse than it like going through her, because that means they would have bounced around some. So you just see like her like healing factor was insane with her imperial arms, which makes it like one of the cooler imperial arms. I just wish it did more than just gives her claws and cat ears. I wish it would have had like the full like turns into battle beast. That would have been crazy. What's
Oh,
another?
it did make her hair longer too.
That's true. I forgot about the hair. To look like a mane. Like it specifically made it look like
Yeah,
she had a mane, which is weird
yeah. It
because
was
Mane
easy
is
to
a.
miss too.
It is weird though because Mane's a male lion thing. But
I think more of so like it would have did that with any user ability, even whether it was female or
yeah,
male, just to
just
give you.
because it shows a male lion when does her
Yeah.
transformation the first time. Another good example is
Yeah.
Akame sacrifices her family to beat the Empire. Now that I'm thinking of it, and I'm not just talking
That's
about
true.
like killing Kurame, but she understands that if she leaves Kurame, Kurame is gonna hate her, but she does it anyway. She basically does an Itachi, like has to pull an
Yeah.
Itachi of make her sister hate her. That way
Small.
she can
Yeah.
stop the
Small step.
government. Yeah. Um. Before we get into people, I'm trying to think
Because
of another
it
one
wasn't
that
like
we
a
get into
Kame
before people die.
because but it wasn't because like I see what you say Itachi, but it wasn't like a Kame didn't try to bring her over to the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah. It's just like
But I see what
sacrificing
you're saying. She
himself
did
for
get
those
sacrificed.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely did that. 100,000%. And then
Yeah, and then
you talk about what's his face? Um
the Run
did you go
has
back
to
into
sacrifice his principles.
yeah, because that's what I was thinking of, the dude with the wings run.
Yeah,
Because
Run.
he was interesting too, because he was supposed to be the way they kind of explained it, and Leone pointed out that he should have been on their side with what happened to him.
Yeah, and he says,
So his
"Oh no,
principles
I
did
am
get
on your side.
sacrificed.
I just can't do it because I want to destroy the Empire from the inside. So that's why we're
Then
fighting."
he also started loving the Jaegers.
Yeah, and then what's it called Esdeath doesn't sacrifice like that's the another thing. Esdeath doesn't sacrifice a single thing. Like she's shown that she didn't have to sacrifice anything, which like goes against what everyone else had to do. Like everyone else had to sacrifice something either to be in the Jaegers or to be in their situation as a whole. Everyone but the minister and Esdeath had to sacrifice something, which goes back to the thing I was saying where like Esdeath's supposed to be like Mother Nature, and then the minister's supposed to be like the corrupting influence of human nature that they're
Yeah.
fighting against, which is
Yeah, Winston didn't care about none but himself, so
yeah, like you even see it when his son dies. He's just like, oh no, my baby, my son. Well, oh well. Anyway, it's like the Loki meme. Anyway, uh,
yes, very sad.
anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, that's what it reminded me of when that happened. And then anyone else I can think of before they started dying, because like obviously when people start dying, you can see the sacrifice because they literally sacrifice their lives. But before, I'm trying to think if there's another sacrifice that exists. Because Wave, when you think about it, he just sacrifices his time. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't sacrifice something like the rest of the people do. Like, Run has to sacrifice his morals. Kurame has to sacrifice her, like, her soul, basically, because she wants to destroy her sister. Because she doesn't want her sister to ever leave her again. Because she feels bad about when Akame left her. Bolo sacrifices his humanity to have so his family can have a normal life. His wife and his daughter can have a normal life. Like he has to basically like do absolutely horrific shit. Like he explains like he has to live with everything that he's done and he hates himself for it. That's why he wears the mask even around his family to separate them from it. And then what's it called? Stylish. It's just a piece of shit. Well, yeah, I don't really think he sacrificed anything. Well, at the end, like he sacrificed his body, which is like whatever. That's not a real sacrifice in the like
In the
sense.
grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Yeah, or like a thematic representation of the sacrifice we're talking about. And then I know I'm forgetting a Jaeger. Who's the Jaeger I'm forgetting?
You said Ron.
Yeah,
You said the mad scientist. You said Perme. You said Wave.
yeah, and then Siryu.
You said Bowles. You said Cereal already. I think that's it, yo. Cereal came as a pair. Tatsumi was
Yeah,
left, pretty much. Yeah, I think that's it.
Wave, Kurame, Run, Stylish Bowls, as Death. I guess I'm just thinking like technically Tatsumi is one, cause
Yeah,
he's supposed
technically.
to replace anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit everybody.
Ah, Run dies in the manga. I didn't know that. Kurame kills Run in the manga, and Akame has to kill him. Trying to see if there's any. If Grand Chariot has a what's it called? A trump card. It doesn't. Nobody knows. Okay, they don't even say in the manga. But yeah, so everyone. It's interesting that even the villains had to sacrifice something because Wave's clearly not a villain. Wave's clearly not. He's basically just Tatsumi if Tatsumi got to be in the army. You know what I mean? Like that's why I like Wave as a character so much. Like he's supposed to be what if Tatsumi got his wish when he first came to the capital and he got to join. That's what it was, which I think is really cool like thematic device to just make a carbon copy of your main character and just force him into a shittier situation than the main character and just let him drink the Kool-Aid
Mm.
unlike the main
Yeah,
character, which is really cool. I like that. That's a really cool narrative device and I'm all for it.
I agree with that. It's pretty the opposite sides thing, the Gemini man, pretty much.
Yeah. It just works super well in my opinion. Also like when we see like when the deaths start happening with the sacrifice, how it starts is the first sacrifice is Ayase, if you think about it, or however you say it. I keep
EAC.
screwing up his name. Ieyasu. Um, like his is technically the first because he holds on because he wants to see the girl that tortured Sayu die, so he holds on as long as he can, even though he's got a disease that is destroying his lungs because he's coughing
Yep,
up blood. So that means that his
exactly.
lungs are being destroyed.
You
So he
got to start
holds
there.
on.
You
Yeah, so
definitely got
that
to start there.
I would say that's the first like sacrifice and death, and then his death gives meaning, like he gains meaning, like in the abstract sense of gaining meaning from that moment because it's the thing that makes Tatsumi go, that's it. I'm doing everything in my power to help them destroy this horrible nation because this
It is start
place
there.
sucks. Excuse me.
It definitely
Because
started there with Yesu, because Yesu, of course, he sacrifices his own well-being. He could have just perished. Like he let his willpower shine so he could see the killer be brought to justice. And like it go, like you say, it does go deep because even for Tatsumi, him to find all that out, because he found that they still had Sayo strung up. Like
yeah,
they
and
still
we
had
find out
Sayo's
the
dead body
entire
strung
reason
up.
she got tortured is because of the what's it called? The entire reason she got tortured much more than a normal person is because of what's her name? I can't think of the daughter's name. Was jealous of her having flawless hair.
Arya,
Arya. She was just jealous of her Saya having flawless hair,
yeah,
and
saying that
that's the entire
that hair
reason.
didn't belong on a peasant like her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
they
is
had that
crazy.
noble complex crazy. They had that nobility complex absolutely crazy. And she hit it too. That Arya girl hit it so well until all the way up
Yeah,
until
she
that
hit it
last moment.
perfectly.
All the way up until the last moment. And what the next sacrifice? Because even what the next sacrifice? I wouldn't even say because we looking at it from both sides. The unknown sacrifice would be the Tatsumi's first assignment would be the ogre, wouldn't it? Because you
Yeah,
think
where
about what that did
he
to
has to
Syria.
sacrifice the his innocence,
Yes,
because
yes,
that's the first time he like the reason he kills Arya is for his two friends, because Arya is the
right.
one that tortured his
For
friends.
redemption, redemption and
It's
revenge. I went
yeah,
more so
it's like
revenge.
anger and revenge. But when it gets to Ogre, it's purely like him sacrificing his innocence. It's like his moment of no return, and
Yeah,
he has
this
to
is like
sacrifice his innocence.
him fully immersing himself into him fully stepping into the belly of the beast, which is night raid. And what they're doing because now he just killed one of the officers, one of the officers in the Imperial Army. So
Yeah,
now they're
and
gonna
it's
be looking
not
for
a
that killer.
dig on him either, cause like it's not a dig on Tatsumi because he kind of had to do it
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, you're
because
right.
of how like terrible the government is. Like the government is so bad. Like it's oh my god, it's so bad. Like I don't know how to say it any other way than it's like one of the like I don't want to say it's worse than the world government in One Piece just because it's
No,
just like one
no,
place.
no. I don't think we can say that yet. You know why? Because I don't think we've seen the full force and the full brunt of what the world government in One Piece is. And I actually was hoping that once we start getting the Emu and more of the other God Knights and all the high celestial, I hope Oda starts implementing some of this stuff we've seen in the Kame Got Killed this past week as to some of their personality traits and how they go about things. I actually hope that emu's like as death in some way, looking at everybody like livestock and treating them that way and going so crazy and so far as to like when you really see because we still haven't gotten the world government's plan in One Piece yet, and I think it's gonna be something Kami got killed esque, but with a little more extra pizzazz on it with all the stuff we got like in One Piece and stuff. But um no, I would actually say like we ain't got we ain't got the full force, but I think the section of what Akame got killed portrayed with their government, I think that's what we gonna get in the later government portrayals in One
But like
Piece.
what I'll say is like it's not I don't want to say it's worse because it's so
It's just
concentrated
deeper.
to one spot. You
Yeah,
know,
it's just deeper
like
to
the world
one part
government
of it.
is
Like
like the entire world, but what's it called? It's just a empire on like a continent that's
yeah,
clearly supposed to be built like based
yeah,
off probably Britain.
yeah. And once you see, yeah. So yeah, they're more so when we talking about what they're doing. That's why I think that's why they call them the Imperial Army. Yeah, and stuff. But it's pretty much like small scale, but it's deep and it's intense. The
Yeah,
political stuff we see it firsthand. Like
and it's
it took one
so
long time to
fucking
point to the
corrupt.
government. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But they've been pointing to the government day one and the comic got killed.
Yeah,
Like One Piece took them a while to start pointing to the government, and they starting to bring all their stuff up as we go. But I do agree with you. Like it's more, like I know you don't want to say worse, but I definitely say a comic got kills government stuff's more intense, and I think that's more because they focus on the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
political aspect a
Intense is
lot
a good
more.
way to do it. But I'm just trying to think of a popular like evil
Shit,
government in anime as an
think
example.
about what Donzo tried to do to Naruto and them. What he tried to do, because a lot of
Ooh,
the foundation stuff went a little deep. It didn't go as deep, but it went deep. With how they was, experiments and all that stuff on Ninja and misusing the Anbu and stuff like that, and have Donzo usurping the Hokage and stuff like that. I know it's not
yeah,
the same level, but that's just when I think about corruption and
yeah, I get the
insurrection, it's
idea.
probably one. Of course, freaking Hunter x Hunter and what they tried to do in the Chimera Ant arc when they tried to put all those
I mean, yeah, it's just making
kills
fun
and
of
stuff
North
on the
Korea though.
yeah.
Like it's a parody of North Korea. But it's just one of those things that it's like that was just the closest comparison I could think of to like a government that's as shitty. Like on the same level of shittiness. Because most of the other ones are like nowhere close as bad.
That's true.
The other ones that I can think of. Like those were the only ones that are close to the level of holy fuck, that's horrible. And then we got the I almost forget. I'm starting to forget where we were going on that at first. Crap.
No, it was on the I think it was on the sacrifices still. We was just going
Yeah,
through
yeah.
that
We
too.
were right before the Shayla sacrifice or the shell.
Yeah.
In my mind, I keep wanting to be like. I keep thinking her name is Shelley, but it's Shell. And I don't know why my brain keeps wanting to call her Shell. I guess it's the E at the end, but the it being just Shell makes still makes perfect sense. But
That was probably short for Michelle. Michelle.
yeah, but the obvious sacrifice going into that though is Shell's sacrifice to save mine, because Shell has the opportunity to just straight up kill Siryu right then and there, like immediately has the opportunity,
Hmm.
but she chooses not to. And then she also, like, to make sure mine escapes, she uses Extatas, or however you say the scissors name,
Extasia.
its trump card of like the blinding light,
Hmm.
uses the trump card to make sure mine can get away, like sacrificing this, basically sacrificing the scissors for her to get away. And then the next one after that is obviously the Bulat one. That goes without
Yeah,
saying. He
Bulat.
sacrifices himself to save Tatsumi, and then his sacrifice gives Tatsumi the strength to beat the person that he couldn't beat before, even after that person used their Imperial Arms as trump card,
It
seeing how
gave
that
him pretty
sacrifice
much
gave him.
like gave him a new life pretty much. I think Tatsumi was reborn after that sacrifice.
Yeah,
Like it's
especially
almost
getting
literally
Incursio.
yeah, that was like one of the most specific and like intense passing of the torch moments I've seen in a while. Like really just giving him taking into Cursio out and just giving it to Tatsumi, telling him, yo, this is what you need to do and take on it. Literally telling him going so far as to remember how he first reacted to it to tell him, no, you probably have a good affinity because when you first saw it, you just like fangirled over it. And bruh,
In his
like he
defense,
gave him a new life.
Incursio looks kind of clean.
It does. No, it does. 100%. It does. I think it looks better than Grand Chariot.
And then, what's it called? Yeah, it looks so much better than Grand Chariot. Then the next sacrifice would be
Elsie. Or are we going to? No, no. Hold
well,
on.
no, I got to get back to the
No.
shell thing. Almost forgot.
Yeah.
I looked away from my notes for 1 second because another big thing is the is we get a little tidbit, like a really good character moment from Akane, or not Akane, Akame and
Tatsumi.
Tatsumi, uh when he's talking to her and she's getting a snack, and she explains like, no, I made the dango because it's Shell's favorite, so I just gonna make it that way we don't forget her. And Tatsumi's just like, oh, that makes sense. It makes sense that you're so calm and collected. You're probably used to this by now. And Akame
Drop.
like breaks down, and
Drop.
she
Drop
says,
that whole plate.
yeah, she says, I'm used to it. Sure,
Question mark.
I've witnessed more deaths than I care to count, but this, you don't get used to it. God damn it. You just hide it and you finish the mission. I have to act like everything is okay, but on the inside, I'm falling apart. We're assassins, Tatsumi. We have to be able to switch things on and off. You think that I'm calm? Well, you're wrong. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what is what losing her means to me. So you see, like, another thing Akame is sacrificing is like her soul, basically, with all the people that she's had to watch die to beat the Empire, which you don't see before Shell's death. You don't see
Nope.
how much it fucks with her. Excuse me. Like, you don't see how much it is destroying her until Shell dies, and then you're just like, oh, it's like it's totally destroying her mental state like that. Oh my god, that's gotta suck so much. You don't get to see it until that moment, which I think is a really good character moment. And then we get the
Definitely don't.
We get
Mhm.
the Bulat death shortly after that, and also Tatsumi's losing these people fast. Like what's it called? Almost the entire cast dies in a 10, like a what is it? An 18 episode window. Almost the entire cast. Like the cause what's it called? Wave, Run, um Najida and Akame are the only survivors at the end, if I remember correctly, of the main cast by the end of the anime. Am I forgetting anybody?
Wave,
Yeah, Wave,
Najee,
Run, Najida, and Akame.
yeah,
And
I think
Najida says that she's close to death also. So she
yeah.
doesn't expect that she's going to survive much longer. Because Mine dies, killing Beto at the second to last. So yeah, so, like, sacrifice is such a big thing. And then it's like every time someone dies, though, they're sacrificing themselves to stop something, except for the minister and his death, obviously. But even like the emperor is used as a device to say like be the death of the oppression. Like he's even sacrificed to the resistance to end the oppression of the empire, sort of thing. Like it is crazy. Like it all happened because this one dude was just like 1,000 years ago was I love my empire so much I hope it never falls. I'm gonna create 8 super weapons to make sure it never falls, and that ends up causing it to fall at the end of the day when you think about it, because it gives the empire so much power that it eventually just crumbles under its own power because it gets so corrupt. Yeah, it gets so corrupt because it gains so much power over everything around it, which just makes it even crazier in my opinion. And then after Bulat's sacrifice, we get the Chelsea sacrifice, which is Chelsea sacrifice hits kind of different. Even though she's only been with them for, I think, 2 months in the story. I think she's there for 2 months. But for us, it's like 3 episodes.
Yeah, 2 months for them, 3 episodes for us, and she was talking a lot. Like she was giving like hell because she was kind of sent there as like their get right
Oh
almost.
yeah, that's the other sacrifice I was trying to remember. It's Chelsea sacrificed her future because she was born into a
Exactly.
super rich family. She sacrificed her future and her humanity to become an assassin to keep people from turning out like the people that she saw. Like
Because
to
she
save
went
like
and
the little girl that she
yeah.
turned into to confuse balls. Like that stuff, like she wanted to make sure stuff like that never happened again.
Hmm.
And that's
Exactly.
the other metaphysical sacrifice I couldn't remember. It was Chelsea's. And then we see like Chelsea gets like she basically gets tortured. She gets her finger shot off. She gets cut up. S Death does like an entire autopsy on her, and then her head gets hung from or not. It's not hung. It's put upon a pike. Like there's like an obelisk, like a pyramid shaped obelisk that points straight up into the sky, and her head's just thrown on top of it, just to just as like a get fucked night raid sort of thing. Which, man, like thinking about like how much like they had to like everyone sacrifice is just crazy. Or not just sacrifice, but how many people die in this show is crazy. I can't think of a show with a crazier like death toll. Because we see Esdeath murder thousands of people. Like they actively show us her like just straight up killing thousands of people. God, there's so much. Like you forget with not watching it how much death is in this show. Holy crap. And then thinking about it with all the
Crazy.
sacrifice and stuff like that just makes it even crazier. And then there's after the Bulat and the and what's it called? Sacrifice. We get mind sacrifice. And then we get Najita's attempted sacrifice. And then after that we get Tatsumi sacrifice. Which is crazy that they killed their main character. That is crazy. Like what can you think of another show where they kill the main character before the end of the show, where they don't tell you that the character's gonna like they don't imply that they're gonna die at the beginning?
Man, I don't really know another one, but I'd have to like dive.
Yeah, I can't really think of
If
another one.
anyone dies, usually the main character is the last one to die if anyone dies, but like you said, it's usually the end of the show too.
Yeah. And then we get Akame. Akame doesn't kill herself, but she basically kills herself. She uses her trump card and then basically kicks herself out of society to take all the negative connotations of the empire. And so everyone's sacrifice not only gave their life meaning, like which is like why you sacrifice stuff. Like in general, like when you become disciplined and stuff like that, you do it for to make like to find meaning in your life. But it also like we see that it gives like the sacrifice gives other people meaning. I totally forgot the last sacrifice of the show is Leon's. She has the last sacrifice because
Excuse me.
she sacrifices her life to kill the minister, and she brutalizes that man. Like it shows his face and she rips his face apart. Also forgot Lubbock because we talked about Lubbock earlier, but everyone sacrifices themselves to make the revolutions. What's the correct word? Because like I don't know if dream's the right word, but they sacrifice themselves to give the revolution meaning and make the revolution happen. Which I think is just like a pretty succinct metaphor for when you sacrifice something, whenever you like discipline yourself, whenever you give up something, you the thing that you get out of it isn't just the thing that you want, but it gives you at least a little bit of meaning. Like every time you go out of your way for something, or like every time you impose your will on yourself. Like let's say, what's a good example? That's not too like pedantic or crazy. Um, Disciplining yourself by going to the gym is probably a good example. You you sacrifice a bit of your time, a bit of your comfort, a bit of your not just day, but you sacrifice. Uh, I guess like you technically sacrifice the part of yourself. Well, it's not even technical. You sacrifice the part of yourself that wasn't good enough to do that thing, and it gives you a little bit of meaning. And I think that's one thing this show encapsulates so well. And I think why you can go back and watch it a second or third time after a couple of years, where you're just like, yeah, I want to go rewatch that again. Outside of like, yeah, it was really good fight scenes, especially for its time. Like it was way ahead of the game with this choreography. Like at the time when it was coming out. So I just think that's the big thing to take away from Aka, excuse me, Akame ga Kill is the that lesson that when you sacrifice something, you get a little bit of meaning out of it. And the more you sacrifice, the more meaningful the sacrifice. And the more you sacrifice, the more meaning you get in life out of your sacrifice. And that's why I think it's a good anime to watch at some point in time. In like not just like your anime watching journey, but just like in general, because I think Akame ga Kill like shows it off better than almost anything. Just because they happen to like everyone sacrifices something. You know what I mean, Dragon?
No, you right.
I just can't think of anything that is near that its level of that, like that lesson. Like I can't think of anything that like encapsulates that lesson in a
It's one of
that's
the
an
last
anime as
few
well
animes
as
that like
Akame.
that pushed the idea of sacrifice together so much because everyone else who did it just pushed it like it was spread around. It
Well,
really
yeah,
wasn't
like
like
it's a general theme in most animes, but in my opinion, that's what Akame ga Kill is all about. Like the entire theme
exactly because
is,
everyone every time somebody died, it's like each side got. Even when
yeah,
you think
like
about the
everyone
other
got
side in
close.
Syria, yeah, even you think about the other side in Syria, like when Syria lost, because Syria lost her parents first outside of the story, they say it was to the revolutionary, but she blamed Night Raid for it. But then you see Ogre dies because of Night Raid, and then the mad scientist, which she looked up to, who gave her all her enhancements, then die. You see how all those deaths kind of affect her and how she goes forward in her thirst for death against Night Raid. Then, of course, everyone's death subsequently after that. Um, everyone's death subsequently after that, they just pull something from it and add to their own arsenal and, learn from it, especially Tatsumi. Like, I think Shell's death taught him how to love a little bit more. Bullock's death gave him his power, which we just touched on. Then, of course, him losing mine, um, after loving her so much and falling in love with her, him losing her, forced that the life that he chose. Um, and then you get to where he gets to the point where he's able to sacrifice himself, not only to, save his team, but to save the capital itself, which is what he wanted to do from the beginning anyway, was to save the capital.
Yeah, which is also another nice moment that we get is like his final sacrifice is just to save innocent people. So it's literally his final sacrifice where he sacrifices himself is to protect the thing that he gave up at the beginning of the story. Like other people's innocence is what he sacrifices his life for at the end of the story. Like against Ogre, he sacrifices his innocence, but the final thing in the story is like you see like a couple of kids and adults that can't get out the way fast enough, just completely innocent bystanders, just citizens that are caught in a horrible place. And so Tatsumi sacrifices his life to make sure nothing happens to them, to protect and preserve
Exactly.
their innocence. And then
Exactly.
another thing with the like the moral of the story, for like lack of a better phrase, is that when you sacrifice yourself or part of yourself, if you want to think about it, it works really well with the naming convention of all the episodes in Akame ga Kill 2. Like, it feels almost like they realized it when they were translating it, and so that's why they named the episodes that. Is every episode is kill, and then the thing that the episode's about, like the like kill the desire, kill the like let me bring up some other examples. Kill the
Kill the
darkness,
three,
kill the grudge, kill the authority, kill the Imperial Arm users, kill the empty dream, kill
kill your
absolute
cares,
justice, kill kill the three beasts, and then uh kill the battle fanatic, kill the seduction, kill the mad scientist, kill the recruits, stuff like that. It's interesting that that's the naming convention they went with, because when you sacrifice part of yourself, you are killing off that part of yourself that's not helpful anymore to you. Like you are actively, so like kill the desire, like you're actively killing off the desire that doesn't help you anymore, like that doesn't add anything to your person anymore. Like when that happens, which is just another thing I think feeds into it that it doesn't tell you. Like, or it's not that it doesn't tell you, but you see it when it happens, which I think is just really cool. It's just one of those random things that you see it the more you look at it. And it's just it's a story I fully recommend to everyone to watch it at least twice. At least twice. That way you can like the first time to enjoy it, and the second time to be like, oh wait, these motherfuckers spitting. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to talk about.
We touched on the sacrifice part. That's all I pretty much had to track for.
Then I think that's it for today, guys. Um, Next week, I'm not 100% sure what anime is going to be next week. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So once we unlock community notes, we'll be able to tell everyone what the plan is on Monday. So hopefully we'll unlock the ability to do community notes soon. Okay, I don't
But
think
y'all
we're
gotta like, y'all
too
gotta
far off.
comment, y'all gotta subscribe. Don't get us up there. We ready for y'all. Dialogue, everything y'all do help us support the channel so we can get to these community notes, get to all these guidelines, keep y'all as updated as we possibly can.
Yeah. But thanks everyone that stopped by, watched, and everything. And like, comment, subscribe, hit up the Discord, and I hope everyone has a good one and a
Happy
good
Mother's Day
week. Yeah, and happy Mother's Day. And I hope everyone has a good one. Corrupted,
and the Dragon.
signing off. Peace, everybody.
Peace it out.